Do you know which board game raised the most money through crowdfunding this year? Find out the answer to that and more on today's video. Thank you for joining me here at Tancher Mouse Studio D. I'm Kevin Delp. In this video, we're talking about some of the highest funded board games out there in 2021 on crowdfunding. This list will comprise a host of games that raised over $50 million combined. Now, the two biggest platforms out there in crowdfunding for board games is Kickstarter and GameFound. Kickstarter does really well, but with some of the recent news, I believe GameFound might have the upper hand in the future. We'll just have to wait to see and find out. Let's get started on today's video. Number 10. We have Primal the Awakening from Reggie Games that raised $2.3 million with the help of 11,302 backers. This game is for 1 to 4 players. It takes about 60 to 90 minutes to play. This is a fully co-op game that's played in a series of sessions throughout a campaign. You're going to take on the role of hunters, fighting monstrous creatures, and unveiling mysteries about their origins. Now, probably one of the biggest draws to make it here in the top 10 list for Primal the Awakening and make this much money is probably these miniatures. Of course, you have the hunter miniatures, but the monsters are pretty epic. I think that's what drew a lot of people to this campaign. Number 9. Mythic Battles Ragnarok from Monolith. They raised $2.4 million with the help of 13,316 backers. This is for 2 to 4 players, takes about 60 to 90 minutes to play. This is set in the Norse mythology, while gods and mortals wage war on mighty giants and the living dead. Strange runes of fire materialize in the 9 worlds. Now, Monolith has done some pretty big Kickstarters in the past, and they already have a good following. This game actually re-implements Mythic Battles Pantheon, so some people might already be familiar with that game and might be really interested in the Ragnarok version, and that's probably what brought a lot of people to this campaign. Number 8. Stellaris Infinite Legacy from Academy Games raised $2.5 million with the help of 13,294 backers. This game is for 2 to 4 players, takes about 90 to 150 minutes to play. This is a 4X board game based on the video game series Stellaris. This is part of the Legacy series from Academy Games, one of their first ones. That's sort of like a traditional Legacy game, but a little different because you can actually replay the different scenarios, and there's no destructive things happening in the game, and there's also branching paths from game to game. Now, if you get the expansion, you can actually take this up to 6 players, but I'm pretty sure what brought a lot of people into this campaign is the IP. I mean, the intellectual property of the Stellaris universe. I think a lot of people just really jumped on this sci-fi game, and they raised a lot of money. Number 7. This is the first campaign that is a GameFound campaign. The rest have been Kickstarters. This is the first GameFound one. This is Robinson Crusoe, the Collector's Edition, that raised $2.6 million with the help of 17,313 backers. This game has a new expansion in this edition, the Book of Adventures, that has several dozen scenarios labeled by their length, difficulty, and theme to help you find the perfect one for game night. It also has these cool miniatures that were crafted by Awakened Realms, and a tutorial campaign, a companion app. So like I said, this is the first one that's on GameFound that did very well. There's been a lot of successful campaigns, but to make it on this top 10 list, wow, that's awesome to see GameFound do so well. And I'm sure Robinson Crusoe just brought a bunch of fans that just love the original game, and now they can have the Collector's Edition. Number 6. This is actually another campaign from GameFound. Too Many Bones Unbreakable from Chip Theory Games. They raised $3.3 million with the help of 11,823 backers. This is a standalone expansion to the dice builder RPG Too Many Bones that you might be familiar with. In addition to the classic mechanics found in the game, it adds the lava battle mat, which encourages dynamic movement and unpredictable battles as your Gearlock adventures journey into the break. There's new Gearlocks, new baddies, and a host of new loot and encounter cards. So you may be familiar with the Too Many Bones series all the way back. I think the original game was from 2017. I'm actually on BGG right now, and if I look up Too Many Bones on there, there's at least 20 different items that you can get expansions and different promo packs and things like that. So there's a lot of content already for the Too Many Bones series, and I think people just really wanted a little bit more with this Unbreakable. Number 5. We have Monster Hunter World, the board game, which raised $4.7 million with the help of 20,398 backers. This is for 1 to 4 players that is based off of the video game Monster Hunter World, which brings massive monster miniatures, it's cooperative, it has a choose-your-own adventure-style combat with a campaign. Wow, these miniatures I was just looking at were pretty epic. And I think with the IP, just brought a whole bunch of people to back this campaign. Number 4. We have Everdell, the complete collection. This raised $4.8 million with the help of 31,463 backers. The campaign brought 2 new expansions, New Leaf and Mistwood, but also a box of storage accessories, or you could just go all in and get the complete collection from Starling Games. I've heard so many amazing things about Everdell. It's a solid worker placement type game that has really fun art, and Starling Games has brought everything together in this campaign. This is just done really well. I know many in Tantrum House just love playing Everdell, so it's already got a very solid base of people who love the game, so I know a lot of people just went in and bought the whole collection. Number 3. In the number 3 spot, I'm actually cheating a little bit because I have 3 games from CMON. Just wanted to lump them all together. I have Masters of the Universe, The Clash for Eternia, for $2 million with the help of 8,166 backers. Zombicide, Undead or Alive, $3.3 million with 21,160 backers. And then Marvel United Xmen, $5.9 million with 25,404 backers. It's competitive, a 1 versus many, or you can play it cooperatively. You could play as the heroic side or the evil side, and there's unique abilities on the battlefield, and you can upgrade skills, and you can fight for Eternia. Zombicide, Undead or Alive is for 1 to 6 players, and this is basically the Western setting for Zombicide. Then there's the Marvel United X-Men that takes the mechanics of Marvel United and adds a few more things with the anti-heroes. For the anti-heroes, you can play them as heroes or the villains. CMON always does pretty well in the crowdfunding world. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Marvel United X-Men is one of their highest campaigns ever in the history of the campaigns that CMON has created. You can double check me on that. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. But that's pretty amazing. I'm sure it has the X-Men name, but also with CMON bringing this version, a lot of people just really wanted it. Number 2. In this spot, we have the expansion to Binding of Isaac, which raised $6.7 million with the help of 47,854 backers. The expansion is called Four Souls Requiem, which adds a new kind of card deck, the Room Deck, and this is just optional with more cards to make it a little bit more complex. And then there's Charmed Enemies as well, which force players to be nice by creating unions that will no doubt make others very jealous. One note for this expansion to Binding of Isaac, it has the most number of backers on any of these campaigns I'm talking about today. 47,854, which beat out number 1. Let's get to that now. Number 1. Witcher, the Old World, raised $8.2 million with the help of 45,162 backers. It's for 1 to 5 players. It takes about 90 to 150 minutes to play. You actually become a Witcher, a professional monster slayer. In this competitive game, you are embarking on quests, encountering and making moral choices, fighting monsters, and sometimes brawling other Witchers. So did you guess the number one, or did you already know it? The Witcher is pretty popular right now with just the whole genre and the Netflix series, so not surprising. The Witcher Old World has the number one spot here in 2021. Let me know if you've backed any of these. I would love to hear about that. Oh, and one more thing. I want to talk about some honorable mentions. Let's get to those right now. So actually I have 5 games I want to talk about very, very quickly that just didn't make it to the top 10 because they raised a lot of money, but just not enough to make it into the top 10. One is the Castles of Mad King Ludwig, the Collector's Edition. My wife and I and Tantrum House just loves the Castles of Mad King Ludwig game, and bringing this Collector's Edition to crowdfunding was just amazing. The Colossal Edition that you can get as a part of that is just really, really cool. If you want to check out our playthrough of that, you can check it out on our channel. That raised $1.5 million. A couple campaigns raised $2 million or more, and that was Flamecraft, and that was from Cardboard Alchemy. Just love the artwork in Flamecraft. The little cute little dragons, really, really cool. I wanted to mention that campaign. Root also usually does really well from Leader Games. They did $2 million. They brought the Marauders expansions. And then a couple other ones. Tiny Epic Dungeons raised $2.1 million, and then Marvel Dice Throne, that raised $2.1 million as well. That was from Roxley Games. Marvel Dice Throne, if you want to check out our overview video, and I believe we did a playthrough of Marvel Dice Throne, check that out on our channel. Well, that rounds out the highest funded board games on crowdfunding platforms in 2021. I would love to hear from you in the comments. Let me know which campaign surprised you. Let me know if you backed any of these campaigns. Just love to hear what you have to say in the comments about that.